Hi, Kribus here. I know it's been a while, but I'm back. I'm here to talk about my latest project or more or less give an update on it. This is Devlog Retry. Topic of the day, Lost Among the Stars, or LATS for short. About 3 years ago when I first started this project, I promised myself that I will commit and finish it for sure. The core concept of the game was about space exploration with its main focus being on combat and customization. There wasn't much of a story to work with, but the general idea was that we were fleeing some kind of major force of the galaxy while trying to get strong enough to fight back and kick some ass. Why I threw myself into a spacey game wasn't very professional. I didn't research the market or anything like that. One of the main reasons was because I've always liked those type of games, like for example Celadon, Event Horizon or Nova Drift. But there was also the fact that my first ever game, Arcade Spatial, was pretty much a carbon copy of Asteroid. So I wanted to make a space game in Unity to see how far I could push this type of game with my own twists and my own ideas. So, in the end, the very professional and precise time frame given to me by none other than my own definitely not over-optimistic, somewhat younger self to complete the full project alone as my first big-ish project in Unity was of 3 months. 3 months later, project not done. 3 years later, still not done. But let's backtrack a little. As I started working on the game, it was shaping up pretty nicely at a good pace. I created a couple of systems I was proud. The UI, the ship customization, the enemies with all of the stats randomness, AIs and all that good stuff. The game was progressing quite well in just about 2 months. Sadly, my code was like pretty ass, to be honest. The UI was barely holding up. Changing anything about it was a pain. The stars' backgrounds was really just an amalgamation of about 5,000 objects slowly spinning. I really don't think that was performant in any sort of way. And the way I created the architecture made no sense. Like, look at this player movement script. Guess how many lines of code are about movement? Yeah, like 2. Just 2 out of over 200 lines of code in the player movement script are about movement. Less than 1% of it is about what it is supposed to be about. Like, for real. It's on me though. And this code about UI I've showed you earlier is also in the player movement. Yeah, it's that bad. Obviously, there was loads of problems with the code, so I tried to correct them by refactoring everything I could. I ended up spending a whole lot of time on making the executable lines of code go down from close to 5k to less than half of the original amount. While doing all of this, I learned a lot of things. Worked on side projects, did some game jams among other things. In all of this, my coding really improved and I even learned a bit about shaders and all that. So then I guess it will be a good time to wrap up this project and do something else, right? Wrong! I really want to make this into a good game, so I scrapped everything. More precisely, I decided to rebuild the systems from the ground up, rethinking about how they will interact with each other and try to make it as much as possible easily expandable to be able to add more content and mechanics later on. So the first system I decided to rewrite was the UI. On the moment I felt like it was the least overwhelming part of the project to start working on. So I made a custom UI system that's pretty expandable, it feels good, it's nice to interact with, and it's even customizable, so if I want to change the style, I can do so without trouble. There are still things I want to tweak and add, but overall I'm pretty dang satisfied. And for the code part, I'm really happy with the documentation I made. Then I had to actually start working on the game specific mechanics. But at this point I was pretty confident about how I will make system for the ships and equipments, and the way I decided to make that was with modules, cause like they're modulable. For example, there could be a module container which is a ship, and the ship could have a module that's called thrusters that lets it move around. So yeah. To make this system, I learned about scriptable objects, so I can have a lot of different modules with different stats and just build ships and equipments the way I want. So that's pretty nice. In between all of that, I also decided to upgrade the background, and I find it way cooler now than before.
And it's probably way more performant. Nah, just kidding, it's way worse.
But with some tweaks, it will be. Alright, I'll try to wrap this up quickly because I've already spent way too much time on recording and editing this devlog. But if you made it this far, it was more than worth it. I'll try to keep you all updated with more devlogs and maybe also other videos about other topics. If you're interested in what I do, you can subscribe or follow me on Twitch to get some news and see the progress of the game. Or you can even follow me on itch.io to try out the game when I push some versions out. Honestly, thank you for watching, and I wish you all to be safe out there. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.